When it comes to cars, Margaret and Ferdinand Ströbel agree it doesn't have to be aesthetically pleasing, just practical. So how about a Dacia Logan station wagon? In Germany, a Logan costs just 8,400 euros. In comparison, even a Golf variant seems like a luxury vehicle. Of course, at 22,000 euros, the VW's price tag is almost 3 times that of the Dacia. With 102 horsepower, the stretched Golf has some brawn under the bonnet and offers exceptional driving comfort. Although air conditioning is an option, power steering is standard. Most would consider the Golf a pretty sensible automobile, but the Ströbels have their doubts. Do they really need even the basic bells and whistles? After all, a car just has to get you from point A to point B, doesn't it? That's the philosophy at Dacia, at least. In the Logan, the Ströbels can have a bare-bones driving experience. No power steering, and forget about air conditioning. Inside, everything looks like it's in the right place. And except in high summer, the fan does the trick just fine. The Dacia engineers weren't worried about motorized flamboyance. 75 horsepower, just enough to get the job done. An amateur musician, Ferdinand Ströbel, does have one wish on his list. The Logan should be good for touring. It would be great to be able to transport instruments cheaply and safely. Oh, it doesn't have central locking, he says. That's right. When we said no frills, we meant no frills. And it really wasn't all that long ago that drivers didn't think twice about having to clamber over the seat to lock up. With the back seats down, there's 2,300 liters of cargo space in the rear. A Logan can ingest a complete set of drums, several trumpets, music stands, and come back for more. It's unbelievable how much fits in here. Told you so. It's great. Tremendous.
Sagenhaft.
In the Golf, the luggage compartment can be unlocked at the press of a button. The rear seats can also be lowered separately. The VW's 1,500 liters of storage space isn't bad, but can't begin to compare with the Logan.
Oh,
that doesn't fit, he says. I'll never get the trunk closed. But the Golf wins when it comes to payload weight. The VW can carry up to 600 kilograms. In spite of the extra space, Logan owners should never load more than 500.
Passt.
It fits. Everything's in. But it was a tight fit, she says. Yeah, you have to practically measure it out. Speaking of measurements, it's time to take some. What about safety? The Golf was strong in the slalom test. It mastered the traffic cones easily. The testers just had to concentrate. In comparison, the Logan felt pretty ponderous, at least in part due to the unassisted steering and the extremely soft suspension. The small tires don't help, and they also have an effect when it comes to braking. The Golf has no problem living up to the expected standard, halting a full car length ahead of the Logan. The Logan station wagon offers a whole lot of room to anyone who could care less about status symbols. But at the pump, it's less impressive. A modern 75 horsepower motor should get better gas mileage than 8.7 liters per 100 kilometers on the road. That said, the VW doesn't do much better, burning just half a liter less over the same distance. So which car has caught the Ströbel's fancy? Which one do they think did better overall in our test? This one has a huge amount of space, he says, and actually drives pretty well, but it's very Spartan. This one here is, of course, in a completely different category. You can also fit quite a bit in the trunk, and it's comfortable. It also drives very well, she says. Has power steering, air conditioning, everything the heart desires, he says. That's how it is with cheap cars. Everyone is glad that they're an alternative, but they aren't really anyone's first choice. Even for sober and sensible drivers like the Ströbels, the voice of reason is a little less persuasive when you get behind the wheel.